The movie starts with a team of FBI agents, led by Tim, closely surveilling a group of professional thieves. The thieves, including Will, Vincent, and a woman named Riley, are relaxing in a car parked near where the FBI is conducting their stakeout. Their accomplice, Hoyt, is already inside a building, trying to deactivate its security system. The plan is to rob the place once the security is compromised. Once the security is down, Will and Vincent exit the car and quietly enter a toy store. Simultaneously, FBI agents on the roof of a building opposite the toy store are monitoring the situation, ready to launch a surprise attack. Inside the toy store, Will and Vincent quickly retrieve some advanced equipment they had stashed earlier. Will has also created a hole in the wall to access the adjacent bank. As the surveillance team notifies the FBI that the thieves are making their move, Tim and his team prepare to raid the building. Will and Vincent race down the stairs towards the bank's vault while Hoyt and Riley remain in the car. Upon reaching the large safe room, they use special explosives to blow open the vault. Meanwhile, the FBI agents are inside the building but are misled into thinking Will is targeting a jewelry store. Tim quickly realizes that the real target is the bank. Inside the vault, Vincent is awestruck by the gold bars, but Will opts to take $10 million in cash, as they are pressed for time. After stuffing the money into a bag, they quickly exit through the back door to meet their getaway vehicle. During this time, FBI agents entered the building and headed for the safe room to apprehend Will and his team. However, complications arose when Will and Vincent ran into an elderly man on their way out. Vincent wanted to silence the old man, fearing he would reveal their involvement in the robbery. Will intervened to stop Vincent, and the situation escalated to the point where Will had to shoot Vincent in the leg to prevent him from acting. Will then hurriedly dragged Vincent to their getaway car. Will dashed to retrieve the bag of stolen money he had hidden in an alley, but to his surprise, Hoyt took off with the car, leaving Will behind. Shortly afterward, a patrol car arrived to arrest Will. He had to overpower the officers and steal their car to make his escape. Meanwhile, Tim learned of Will's escape in a police car and gave chase, resulting in a dramatic pursuit. Unfortunately, Will found himself trapped in an abandoned building, with the FBI closing in. In a last-ditch effort, Will decided to burn the stolen money before he could be apprehended. 8 years later, after serving his prison sentence, Will was released. He bought a doll for his daughter, but soon after, 2 FBI agents, Tim and Fletcher, arrived to take him away again. They informed him of Vincent's death and then brought Will to his ex-wife's house to meet his daughter, Allison. During their reunion, Allison gave him a package. Will took Allison to a cafe to talk, expressing deep regret for his past criminal activities. He shared how his time in prison made him realize the need to change and become a better person. However, Allison still seemed hurt and disappointed by his past actions. She walked away angrily, leaving Will behind. Will tried to say sorry and follow her, but Allison was furious. Suddenly, she handed back the doll he had given her and told him she had been seeing a psychologist due to the mental stress caused by Will's past crimes. Meanwhile, Riley is working as a waitress in a bar frequented by police officers. One officer flirts with her because he finds her attractive, but then Will arrives, and Riley looks glad to see him. Will has come deliberately because he suspects Hoy, someone in their group, might be a traitor. While talking, a phone rings from the package Allison gave Will. To his surprise, it's Vincent, who he thought was dead. Vincent has been hiding, even changing his appearance with long hair and many tattoos. Vincent demands his share of stolen money, but Will reveals he burned it before the FBI caught him 8 years ago. Vincent has kidnapped Allison to force Will to give him the money. When Will learns this, he threatens Vincent, warning him that if he harms Allison, he won't hesitate to kill him. Will is panicking because Vincent has taken his daughter. Agents Fletcher and Tim are secretly watching him from afar. Vincent takes Allison to his hideaway and contacts Will, informing him that he lost his leg following the robbery. Upon their arrival at the hideout, Vincent injects something into Allison as revenge against Will. Will tries to tell Vincent that his money is with a lawyer in Tuscaloosa to get Allison back, knowing that Tim and Fletcher are on his trail. Will attempts to evade them amidst the confusion, buys a new phone, and leaves the one Vincent gave him on a train to Tuscaloosa. Meanwhile, Vincent locks Allison in a taxi trunk. Later, Will goes to Tim's office and admits he burned all the stolen cash before the FBI could arrest him. Will asks Tim to help rescue Allison, but Tim doesn't believe him, thinking Vincent is dead. Despite Will's honesty and pleas, the FBI doesn't trust him. Instead, Fletcher arrests Will again, suspecting he's the gang leader behind the thefts. In an elevator, Will incapacitates the 2 FBI agents and takes their access cards. Using one card, he hacks into the FBI database to locate Vincent. After getting the information, Will escapes the FBI building before they can catch him. Meanwhile, Vincent tracks Will's location via GPS, which leads him to Tuscaloosa. However, a stranger enters the taxi, ignoring Vincent's orders to leave, and starts a phone call, irritating Vincent. On the flip side, Allison, trapped in the car's trunk, attempted to seek help from a passenger by cutting a hole in the back seat. However, before she could call for assistance, Vincent yanked the passenger out of the taxi and assaulted him. The man left his phone behind, so Allison tried to reach it. Meanwhile, at the FBI office, Tim discovered that Will was looking for Hoy's address, prompting him to dispatch agents to Hoy's apartment immediately. Hoy arrived home to find Will already there, aiming a gun at him. Will menacingly demanded Hoy reveal Vincent's location. Initially, Hoy resisted, but he eventually spilled the beans under Will's violent threats, revealing that Vincent had Allison locked in a taxi's trunk, driving around town. Shortly thereafter, the FBI showed up, and Hoy seized the moment to grab the gun from Will, managing to paralyze him. However, upon opening the door, the FBI shot Hoy. Will attempted to escape by leaping out a window and running into the street, only to be struck by a taxi. Remembering Hoy's words about Vincent driving a taxi, Will decided to steal one. Meanwhile, Allison almost called the police but was interrupted when Vincent's taxi was stopped by a patrol officer due to malfunctioning brake lights. When the officer asked Vincent to open the trunk, Vincent panicked and shot him dead. Allison saw an opportunity to escape but ended up trapped in a dead end. Sadly, Vincent caught up to her and injected her with something. In the meantime, Will coerced another taxi driver to assist him in finding Vincent's taxi. After extracting the necessary information, he released the driver and pursued Vincent. Since it was Halloween, the roads were congested with traffic, prompting Will to jump from one car to another to locate Vincent's taxi. Eventually, Will tracked down the taxi, but Vincent had tricked him by altering the taxi's serial number and planting a tracker to mislead him. Shortly thereafter, Tim and Fletcher arrived and arrested Will. While in the car, Will attempted to dislocate his thumb to escape the handcuffs because he needed to take a call from Vincent, who had threatened his daughter. During the struggle, they crashed the FBI vehicle. Fortunately, Will survived and answered Vincent's call, lying about having the money and promising to meet him at the site of their last robbery. Will didn't actually have the money and intended to rob the bank again. He enlisted Ray for help in stealing gold to save his daughter. Meanwhile, FBI agents found Vincent in their database, confirming Will's story about Vincent being alive and holding his daughter hostage. Will and Ray then went to a warehouse near the bank they planned to rob, entered an underground passage, and broke into the bank's vault, discovering a substantial amount of gold. They melted the gold and prepared the necessary equipment to steal it later. The FBI was astonished to find some of the gold had melted and flowed underground. Soon after, Will and Ray loaded the gold into Ray's car, but the FBI traced them and initiated a chase. It was revealed to be a setup by Will and Ray, who had already departed in another vehicle to meet Vincent. Shortly after, Tim and Fletcher discovered where Will and Vincent were meeting and hurried over. When they got there, Will handed Vincent the gold. However, Vincent, angry at Will, set a taxi with Allison inside on fire. Will, witnessing this, fought Vincent and pushed the car into the lake. He tried to open the trunk, but Vincent attacked again, leading to a fierce fight. After defeating Vincent, Will rescued Allison and drowned Vincent in the lake. Allison, frightened by her father's injuries, felt relieved when an FBI helicopter arrived to rescue them. Later, Will, Ray, and Allison relaxed on the beach while Tim and Fletcher observed from a distance, hoping to catch Will with gold hidden in Ray's car. Instead, Will threw the gold into the ocean, prompting the agents to close the case and stop pursuing Will and his allies. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you want to watch more videos like this. Thanks and see you again soon. Take care.